Hi. A couple weeks ago, I went to Brooklyn alone by myself to see the Back to Zero tour with Osquin, Tropes, Gregorian, Mental, Baby Azul, Heartstop Miami, and of course Funeral. As some of my close friends know, and even some of my close listeners and fan base know, Funeral is my favorite artist. A lot of my sound influence comes from him. So naturally, if he was performing at a show in New York, I'm gonna drop a bag and go see him perform. I've gotten to be able to connect with Funeral a few times thanks to his Discord server. If you haven't joined that, join it. It's a really cool community. And that connection has given me the ability to have what I'm about to show you guys. This is one of my biggest achievements as an artist, as a music enjoyer, point blank period. My hair's gonna look a little different because again, I filmed this interview 2 weeks ago. I've been putting it off a little bit, I'm sorry. That was a big ol' yap, but I'm really excited to show you guys this. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy the interview. Out here in Brooklyn, New York, Market Hotel, I'm here with
Funeral.
Can you please tell a little bit about yourself?
I'm a rapper, singer, musician from North Carolina. I'm affiliated with Brave Mind. I have a thing called Cicada, all that other stuff. Yeah.
I know a lot of people in your space classify you as like a hyperpop artist. I've seen a couple instances where that's not exactly what you classify yourself as. Apart from like being a rapper, like how would you like classify the genre of music that you make?
Ultimately, I think a good, and like I think the connotations of what I'm about to say are changing. But I would say emo rap. Not so much in the like Lil Peep clone Juice WRLD sense, but like a different type.
As an independent artist, you've done things during your career that some people, even with labels, haven't. You've been able to stay committed and consistent within the underground scene and keep it mainly a one-man army and staying self-prod most of the time. I view that, as well as many other independent artists striving to make something out of their own creativity, as an inspiration. I mean, you've been my favorite artist for a few years now and have influenced a huge portion of my sound throughout my first couple years of being an artist. So my next question to you is, what is your best piece of advice to artists like me trying to piece together their own cult fan base and style?
I would say a lot of people like to say to like, to make your own sound is like not listen to anything that's popping, really not, pay any mind to what's hot. But if like, I think it's actually pretty important to hear what's hot and like kind of push it into your own sound, because at the end of the day, I mean, people do like an artist that's completely unique and away from what might be hot at the moment if you want like a cult fan base. But I think a good way to get part of that that fan base is like be something similar to like kind of like take some parts of what's hot and make it your own thing. That's a lot of what I did, and it ended like after like a year or two. I think it really like made my sound a bit like you could tell it was me after a while. I'd say like incorporating a lot of what's going on at the moment musically is good, and then you'll pretty much just be able to like turn it into your own thing.
You released an album last month?
Like 2 months.
That's a really damn. I enjoy the album very much. It's called Exiler. It steps outside of your usual sound and more into a raw, untapped version of you, like you said, like more of the emo stuff. Production was insane, in my opinion. It's your best produced album. The delivery, the emotion in your voice, like I slit my own throat. That what's the word I'm looking for? That rasp in your voice, like when you scream and shit, that's insane. That inspired me to make an album of my own where I choose to step outside of my own cover zone. But you also released Gloss. I was a huge fan of that. When did you make that, bro? How long has that been in the vault?
I have had that in the vault since January. Yeah, it was like one of the first songs I actually made this year.
Back to Exiler. How long did it take you to make that from concept to the final product? And what made you come up with the idea for Exiler?
I'd say, I think really probably November. Some of the songs were made like maybe a year prior to its release, but we're beefing so much. Like full no breaks. It took like 6 months straight of just focus and nonstop work on it. And I thought about it in November. I didn't get the name for it until maybe a month before it came out. Yeah, it's really just the whole thing is like I wanted to do something that was like kind of like I've never put pop like sound into an album.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do something with some pop elements. It's still not probably my favorite part of the album though. Definitely my favorite parts of the album are like the more grittier, like angry, depressing, sad stuff in there. The rawness of that is like my favorite parts of the album.
My favorite part about that album was the transition from This Isolation into Happier.
Oh yeah.
Bro. Oh yeah. So I don't know where I heard this. I remember hearing you mention that you came up with the name Funeral when you were listening to like Suicide Boys at the time, and you wanted it to like you wanted that like edgy kind of name. So apart from Suicide Boys, who's been your like top 5 artists or bands that cultivated what you make today?
My top 5 always will most likely be Bones, Blade, Cyber, or Syringe if you know him as Syringe. That one's pretty much like the big makeup of what my sound is. I know people will like low key always people are always gonna eviscerate you when you mention Suicide Boys, but they were a big part of my like what I listened to when I was younger. I'll put like 2 bands, Bring Me the Horizon and Suicide Silence.
Should I check them out?
Yes.
You heard that first. Fucking listen to Suicide Silence if you haven't. I've asked you before, I believe on the Discord, what your favorite album you've made was, but instead of your albums, your favorite single. Which one is your favorite single? Because I know you got a shit ton of them. I know it might be hard to pinpoint. Is there one?
Maybe it's like a recency bias thing, but I think Suck It Up is like one of my favorite. I feel like that one kind of solidifies a lot of like this emo rap, but like not in the Lil Peep, Juice WRLD way, but more in like in a new way. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like the emo stuff that I liked growing up, but in like a new way, I guess.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites as of recently.
You've been making music for really. You were like what 13 or something like that when
When I started producing.
you started producing when you were 13. What age was it where you decided like, okay, shit, I can probably do something with this and make something out of it?
So, and I wish I could find this, but when I was 16 or maybe 15, I made like, when I remember it, it sounded good. Maybe it wasn't, but it was my first vocal song, and I wish I still had it. It was very like Team Sesh, Bones, Suicide Boys, but it was auto-tune singing, so it was like very different for the time, not of the time stuff. But I didn't really go full force back into doing vocals. So I guess I started rapping in like 2017, 2018, and do that for I think 2 years before this whole scene kind of pops off.
Yeah.
And I figured, I always told myself when if I ever got enough attention on me, I would really show my ass and like drop a lot and really make it known that I like to just drop all the time, because a lot of my favorite artists growing up always had music out. So I made sure when I had the chance, I would make that be known of me. So I think early 2021 is when it really like occurred to me that I could just keep doing this.
Was that the year Super Classic dropped?
Yeah, I figured I would just go full force and like really try to make this like a thing I can do forever. I guess that's what I've been doing for the last 5 years.
Before we dip, me and Funeral have a song out right now. It's called What's Wrong With You. It's part of my album. If you had the time, please listen to it. Funeral, thanks for hopping on, brother.